Hey guys, so we're going to go over the second lesson on page 284, add decimals. So get your book out so we can start writing some notes. Page 284. So in the last lesson we did the same thing, we added and subtracted decimals. The only difference was that we were converting them to fractions so that way we can add them a little bit easier and then converting them back into decimals. The only purpose of that was for you to be able to visualize what you were doing by using the models, but we didn't have the models. It showed you in the book by coloring in the squares. So now we're just going to learn how to add and subtract without taking that extra step by converting them into fractions. So, all right, so the first thing that we're going to do is draw a chart, your place value chart, so that way you can start knowing your place values. All right, so we, let's see. So the first thing you're going to do is draw a large rectangle. Okay, let's go ahead and, there you go. Okay, so we're going to draw eight lines. Don't go all the way down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do a skinny one right here. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. So I'm going to put my place values in here. I'm going to come on this side so I can write. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is draw our decimal here. This is this little skinny part. This is where our decimal is going to be at. Okay? All right. So what is that place value right next to the decimal on the left side? This is your ones place. Ones. Okay? Next one is going to be your tens. Okay, and you guys already know this, plus we went over it in the beginning of the year. Tens, hundreds, and the last one, thousands. Well, last one we're going to go to, but you can keep going on and on. Okay, so you guys already know all that. All right, so now we're going to talk about to the right of the decimal place here, and we kind of went over this a little bit yesterday. So we don't put once here. There's no such thing as once. So we're going to go straight to tenths, and don't forget the THS. So we have tenths. I'm going to underline THS. Next one is hundredths. THS. And the next one, thousandths. THS. Okay? So I'm going to make up a number. It can be any number. And I'm going to put it underneath the places. 3, 6, 9, 2, and remember this little decimal means and. Don't forget your comma. 4, 7, 1. Okay, and this, remember yesterday we talked about with my little analogy, okay, these are your first names, okay, and the numbers are your first name and the place value is your last name. So we have 3,692 and 471. That's your first name. Thousandths, that's your last name because that's the place value. That's the name of where it goes. All right, so now that you have this, we're going to do an example. And before we do the examples, we have to have the steps, okay? I always love the steps. So there's going to be 3 steps for this. Step 1, step 2, and step 3. Okay? All right. So step 1, and this is the most important step. And I can promise you that because if you get this step wrong, the whole thing is going to be thrown off. The whole number is going to be wrong. Okay? So I'm going to put a red box around that step 1 because it is the most important step. All right. So step 1 is going to be align your decimals. Put them in line. Put the ones where the ones go, the tenths where the tenths go, and line them up. Because if you don't line them up correctly, your number is going to be wrong. So the first thing you need to do is align decimals. Align your numbers. Okay? The second one, sorry, not decimals. Align your digits. Sorry about that. Align your digits. Okay, align your digits. Next one's going to be, you might have to put in a 0 just in case in order to make things easier. So if needed, you can add your zeros as placeholders. So if needed, add zeros as placeholders. Okay? If needed, add your zeros as placeholders. And then step 3, go ahead and add from right to left. Same thing how you add just regular adding. You always add from right and then you go this way to left. So I'm going to put from R to L, from right to left. Okay, and then we're going to do a few examples. I'm going to erase up here. All right. So let's do example 1. All right, it's 0.07, 0 and 7/100 plus 2.8, 2 and 8/10 plus 0.5, which is 0 and 5/10 equals N. Okay, so step 1, remember you need to align your digits, okay? So that means that I'm going to have all my whole numbers. So I'm going to put 0.07 and then 2.8, okay? If I write 2.8 right there, that's wrong because I need to make sure my decimal goes straight down. Right here, my decimal is going from here down to here, okay? And it's going crooked. It's not supposed to be like that. So you need to make sure that you're aligning your decimals. Your digit. 0.07. My decimal is always going to be right here. So I'm going to put my 2 on this side and my 8 on this side. And then my next one, 0.5. Okay. Next step says, if needed, add zeros as placeholders. Okay. Well, I don't have anything here, so I'm going to add a 0. And it's the same number. I can add 1,000 zeros, and it's not going to do anything to that number. If I add zeros before this, like 0.5 is not the same thing as this, okay? This is way smaller of a number than this, okay? So if I add my zeros before that number, I can't do that. That changes the value of the number. But if I add zeros after the number, it doesn't do anything. Okay, so 0.50. Okay, now let's add. Add from right to left. Here's my right, I'm going to add this way. 7 plus 0 plus 0, 7. 0 plus 8 plus 5, 13. Carry my 1, just like usual, because that's going to add that whole number. 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 is 3. So my answer is 3.37. All right, equals N. Don't forget equals N. because they asked me what n was. Okay, so we can do one more example just in case. All right, let's do it down here. I want to erase. Okay, let's do example 2. We'll come up with any number. Let's do 3.9, 3 9/10 plus 0.06. That's 0 6/100 plus 0. Let's do 0. Let's do this instead. Plus 3. Okay. Let's align our decimals. 3.9, align our digits. 0.06. So remember, my point's right here. Right here, 0.06. And then 3. 3 is a whole number. It doesn't have anything else with that. So my whole numbers, don't forget, my whole numbers are on this side. So nothing, there's no decimal after that. So that's really saying 3.0. Okay, so let's put 3, my 3. All right, my step 2, remember, was to add my zeros as placeholders. So I need a 0 here, and I need a 0 here, and I need a 0 here, just to make placeholders. Okay, so 0 plus 6 plus 0 is 6. 9 plus 0 plus 0, 9, decimal. 3 plus 0 plus 3 is 6. So my answer is 6 96 hundredths. All right, go ahead and start on your next homework, which is 11.2, and let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.